one of my first like girlfriends per se made me a mixtape, and I was like, wow, this took a lot of effort. She's like,
cool.
yeah.
So when I saw Go Goa Gone, I was like, who could think of this idea? Means we were talking about it yesterday, but how do you kill zombies? How do you kill zombies? Throw cocaine on them.
People are simping over DK, man. It's so much fun to just like, it's so...
No, he doesn't have one army. He has four armies because
One
four different
hell of
languages.
an army is what I meant.
4 languages, 1 army for each.
Welcome to Film Companion, guys. I have been left hanging at the 3-episode mark, but I have to say it's been a deliciously wicked ride so far, so thank you.
Thank you.
Hey.
I want to start off by asking you guys, of course, Guns and Gulaabs is such an epic hat tip to the 90s. What's your favorite thing about being 90s kids? Because I really think we're the best.
Television.
Yeah, oof.
Television. That was the time when television was like sort of booming. And then I was 12 years old in 1990. We had 1 channel, but it was a lot of fun. And then we had 2 channels. And then the economy opened. And then we had like 5, 6, 7.
And look at us now.
Yeah. Those were formative years for me also because I was hitting my teens. So they influence you in ways that you can't even imagine. So yeah, we were opening up to the world also at that point of time. So absorbing a lot of things. The first time I had access to films from like Hollywood films. You would watch them on television. So
Yeah. What about you
I
guys?
miss the simplicity of it.
The simple.
I think there was simpler times, not too much, taam-jam. You only have like those many cassettes and those many friends, and it's a really close.
And those many pencils to sort of roll the...
Yeah, shit, atak gayi, abhi B-side. Oh, I think simpler times. So I'll miss the simplicity of it. I think you were not scared of being judged. There was no social media. There's nothing. You could live your life the way you wanted it, and just fun, just hang out, and the human interaction.
Yeah.
Like how we were talking. Like now, of course, you call people and you message them, hey, happy birthday. No, at that time was कि birthday है, घर जाना है, मिलना है. It was beautiful, I think.
that's why Raj doesn't respond to tweets.
I'm not on Twitter.
Oh, so I shouldn't tweet you.
Don't.
You tell me.
I mean, I saw about 6 years in the 90s.
Yeah.
I think what was really beautiful is the lack of access to information. You were just really comfortable in your own cocoon. And you didn't know what was better than what you had. So you were really happy with what you had, even though it wasn't a lot. And it was also, I feel like it was very close-knit. The whole environment, like, you remembered everybody's phone numbers.
Because you didn't have a choice.
Yeah, you didn't have a choice. You had to. And then you had these, like, at least in our house, we had this whole diary where, like, it was manually written, everybody's number.
Yeah.
And, a lot of picnics, a lot of family picnics that I remember. Like, we used to hire these trucks and these vans, and like 40, 50 of our, like, because we had a big family in Jamshedpur, like extended family. So all of us would get into a truck, drive about 1.5 hours outside of Jamshedpur, and then have a picnic, cook, carry these pots and stuff. So amazing, like, and
I want to go back.
yeah.
I know, I want to go back to.
And I feel like everybody had so much time to give to each other, to their family, to their friends. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Feeling a bit like a therapy session, huh, guys? I have to say. What's your favorite thing?
I think, pre-internet, there's so much, anything you wanted to know about what's happening around the world, we'd go to bookstores and there'd be like foreign magazines there, and that's why you'd find out those things, or like film cameras and, just cycling. I don't know how many kids cycle today. We all used to have group cycle sessions. And just getting around, I think, I think our first dance parties would have 80s music because the kids were influenced by their parents' music. And I think 90s music wasn't as accessible, right?
Yeah.
And typically, Western albums and stuff would be bought on, only those who travel abroad may be getting it. And only certain stores had, I think, certain music stores. It's very complex thing to have.
HMV.
And then like, you create your own mixtape and everybody sits and writes on it. And that was such a big thing, and which is very Western actually. But I remember like one of my first like girlfriends per se made me a mixtape, and I was like, wow, this took a lot of effort. She's
So
like,
cool. Yeah.
So all of that, I think, like Raj said, such simpler times. It's still fresh in our minds because it's those formative years.
And I'd imagine that the kida of wanting to be actors was also setting in around then for all of you. Maybe not you, but
He was a kida.
I wanted to be a WWF wrestler. I think that's what I want.
Which is also like performance.
Also,
man.
yeah.
it is.
They're also actors.
So talk to me about one film or one movie that you think was a sort of
French
defining
Connection. The French Connection, the first one. I saw it, I think, 95, 96 on one of the movie channels. It blew my mind. I was like, this is not acting. It feels so real. You know? And then I had no idea how they were achieving that kind of, to keep the illusion intact. Because you know that they're actors, but then it doesn't feel like they're acting. Yeah.
I think it wasn't any one particular film. I think it was a gradual, organic process. I love watching so many films every weekend with my joint family and then friends, of course, bunking schools and going to theaters. The first PVR ever in India was in Saket, going there and watching films. And I think I just fell in love with the cinema, the medium, these stories, these actors. And I think somewhere around in class 8th or 9th, I decided, I want to do this.
That
I want to
early?
be, I want to be in this world, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up watching a lot of movies at all, and I was an annoying person to watch movies with because I would constantly keep asking questions. कि क्या बोल रहा है?
At least you accept it. I think that's sweet.
Yeah, and especially if it was
Yeah.
yeah, and especially if it was an American film, I didn't understand their accent. It used to be really thick, and my brother did. So
And look where we are now.
so I would constantly pester him with questions, and he'd be so annoyed. I'd be the worst person to watch movies with. But I watched a lot of cartoon. A lot, I mean, I was allowed like 1 hour of television, so like half an hour of Roadrunner, half an hour of WWF.
But good cartoons at that time.
Yeah.
Great cartoons, yeah. Like Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Correct.
And,
Dexter's
Roadrunner.
Laboratory.
Dexter's.
Samurai Jack. No, that's actually later.
Cool cartoons.
I wouldn't call it like an influential film or anything, but I have a distinct memory of watching Speed when it first came out. And it was the first...
Is that Keanu Reeves?
First Dolby experience. In Chennai, there was a theatre called Devi. It was the first time we were going for a Dolby film and surround sound. And it was somebody's like birthday party, and the whole party was going for Speed. And they then took us to Archie's gallery and got us posters of Speed. And stuff. So it was a very memorable thing. And the first time we heard surround sound, like the opening shot was of this car kind of
Flying,
jumping.
yeah.
And we all turned around. The sound came from behind. We're like, what is going on? I distinctly remember that.
Yeah.
Cut to this incredible world that you guys are now part of with Guns and Gulaabs. The tagline says, "Har kisi mein shaitan hai," and honestly, for the lack of a better word, each of your characters are just so wacky. I want to ask you guys, how did you firstly just embrace them or justify them to yourselves before you got on set?
You don't have to, right?
You don't? Okay.
You don't have to.
You're not
when you
yourself. You're not playing yourself.
Yeah, these are two different personalities. I'm not that guy. I think that way you would always, it will be very tough for you to choose parts, Of course, as long as something it's not going to create any ruckus in the society because if I play this character, you know what I'm saying, right?
But I wasn't even going there. I was just talking about how do you believe that I can be him?
You can be anything. People are playing superheroes. They're believing in that. So yeah,
I can fly.
We can be like normal guys from 90s in a small town killing people with panas. ऐसे ही मार दिया बस, yeah.
See, the reality is given in that the text gives you whatever is written in the text. That's your job as an actor is to accept that as the reality. So once you accept it, then you don't have any questions of anything else. Sometimes we are not able to also certain kinds of roles, maybe which is very violent or something. We are not able to, like Gulshan or Rajkummar, or we'll have trouble accepting that. So then the performance doesn't really flow because somewhere it's not really connecting. There's a blockage. But here is an imaginary world with imaginary characters. It's fun. It seems like a whole lot of fun. And we're all familiar with Raj DK's work by now. So we know what to expect. And then you see the writing and then you accept it. Like, this is the reality. Although it's not reality, it's really fantasy. But this is the reality. And then you just have fun. Then everything flows.
Also, the makers and everybody around you are so convinced.
Yeah.
You're not going to come there and question it. You just, I think, blend into that world.
Into the world. And then when I look at the four of you and I'm literally like, wow, they did good with the casting. I'm curious to know, when you guys got on set, got to interact with each other, was there anything that surprised you about each other as people or as actors?
Yeah, he was so sweet.
What were you expecting?
I was like, this is Mammootty's son, and he himself is a huge star, and his father has like what, 5 national awards? Like, I was like, this is like cinema royalty, okay? So I'm like, and I grew up in the South, so we used to watch a lot of Malayalam films and all that, and I knew of, I've never met him, but he had met my wife then, and she had told me that he's very sweet because he came to me and he said that, oh, you're Gulshan's wife, and he introduced himself. I was like, okay, fine, that happened, but I don't know what to expect. But he was really, really sweet. So I'm sorry. I expected him to be an asshole, but then...
Thank God for that.
Very self-aware group. I like it. What about you guys? Any sort of first impressions?
I've known, of course, all of them way before. Of course, DQ, like we did one, of course, at Mami only. We did a chat together. And also we have a common friend, so I know a lot about him through him.
Same.
And I'm sure vice versa.
We started almost the same year, 2011, 2012, 2010, na?
2010, yeah.
He's 2010, he's a senior.
So I've known him since from there, and of course, very sweet, as he said. And then, of course, we bonded on cinema, on set, I think, because also he started producing. There's a like-mindedness there, you know, the kind of cinema that we like and we want to do and make.
Sure.
There's a lot of similarity there. And Gulshan, of course, we've done Shaitan together a decade back almost. And then I've known him since then and always been pushing himself, doing great work. On this set also, and we just finished Badhai Do, and then this happened, and then
In Dehradun,
same place, and then such weird chemistry, the relationship is so different. But that's the fun of, I think, being actors. And others, of course, we spent like the whole time together doing The White Tiger. Very fond of him. Great guy, superb actor, very hardworking, very focused. So I think it was just a great bunch of people together with Raj DK, of course, being our captains. So just fascinating.
Yeah.
Great experience.
Yeah, I really liked what you said at the trailer launch, ki jo koi nahi sochta hai, wo Raj and DK sochte hai, which I think is true. Talk to me about just what goes on in the minds of those mavericks. Like, what is the secret sauce? Have you guys figured it out?
I wish we knew. We would tell all our writer friends.
But they're constantly surprising us, you know, with the content or even on a daily basis. You know, whether it's suggestions or thoughts, and they're doing all of this with a laugh, so they're really having fun with it.
You know, in some way, I think they're cinephiles. Like they like watched certain kinds of cinema movies, and they really liked it, and then they decided, we'll make movies, we'll tell stories. You know, they don't come from any like filmmaking background and all that. And
they're engineers,
this is there a little, this kind of slightly wacky thinking. The people from Andhra are a bit like that. Like, everybody thinks he's the filmmaker. So, but
I guess there is a very deep love for cinema.
they do have very deep
They're
love.
very passionate about
So
it. And
perhaps
they're
that's
very
their
sure.
style, like, you know.
But since I think the short film that they made, which I knew about it because a lot of my actor friends were there from FTI, I think since then they were very different. They were not here to follow the herd. They wanted to make their own path. And then with 99 and Shore and then Go Goa Gone, when I saw Go Goa Gone, I was like, who could think of this idea? Means we were talking about it yesterday, but how do you kill zombies? How do you kill zombies? Throw cocaine on them. It's so absurd, it's so bizarre, but it's happening. It works. People buy it. It's funny.
I think it's their interest in exploring the absurdity of every situation is what makes it so palatable.
Yeah.
Because you know when you watch like a crime drama, you won't expect to laugh or chuckle at the end of somebody getting killed. That's what they do.
And then you judge yourself and you're like, shit.
Sure, right. But you also
So
really
wrong.
enjoy it. You know, you enjoy it. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't, like you don't feel that you've come off a movie or like come off a show with a heavy head. You're just like, wow, this was great. Like somebody died, still had a lot of fun watching it.
It is amazing. I still remember first time when they told me about the idea that Raj sir told me was that, you know, there's this tree, this chudel, and she kidnaps people, nanga. And unke kapde chhod jate. Like, what is this? Why would she kidnap them nanga?
Only the men.
See, I think he's right. I think, you know, people would like, this is an absurd idea. And Raj and DK like, and it's going to work.
Which is why I started off asking you guys, how do you embrace these people and just believe
That's
that you
it.
Because of their
That's
conviction in it.
Yeah. What I also really love about them is their ability to sort of make the entire world, like even the sidekicks are just so special. You're that
Cut. Imagine.
just incredible.
So cute.
Incredible. So Is it at all terrifying as actors to be around good actors all the time, or is it?
It's fun.
Yeah.
No, it's so believable, no? Like,
It's also easy,
Better to be
easier.
with a good actor than a bad actor, because that's really stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, at the end of the day, I feel like it's about the show, the film you're working on, and when you have like such amazing actors you work with, it's like a table tennis match, like it's
Lifts up your performance.
We did a lot of people like like the chemistry we had in Badaido and all that. We never even talked about the scenes.
Yep.
Like he would just come and do. That's the advantage of having a good actor, because he knew his job. He'd come there absolutely prepared, and then we are like
Feeding off each
feeding off each other, and then that the chemistry comes, and he it's his job to make that chemistry. It's my job to sell that chemistry. We never even talked about the scene or anything like that. Wow. And then I'm not surprised by that at all, because that's our job, and that's the advantage of having good actors.
So I'm going to wrap by asking you guys, we live at a time when there's literally so much incredible content, the good, the bad, everything. What's going to really make Guns and Gulaabs a clutter breaker? Or what do you hope sets it apart?
I'm not even going to answer this question. Really? You're going to ask us why this is a clutter breaker? Please, haven't you seen the trailer? Have you read the comments below the trailer?
He's reading, that's for sure.
No, this is the
Mostly
the most fun show, most fun show that's come out.
DQ has one army, I have to tell you.
No, he doesn't have one army. He has four armies, because
One
four different
hell of
languages.
an army is what I meant.
4 languages, 1 army for each.
people are simping over DQ, man. It's so much fun to just like, it's so crazy.
I got all my retweets yesterday from DQ fans, and it's working. I told you I'll steal some of your fans. Thank you, DQ fans. Thank you.
No, I think, anyway, coming back to the show, this is the most fun trailer that's dropped in ages. Like, everything's been so serious and like, it's investigative. Not taking away from that, but I think people are looking to watch something without, any stress or
Just for fun.
Just for fun. And
I love how romance has found you even here.
yeah, it doesn't leave me.
We don't want it to.
I'm sorry, man, but
There's no escaping it.
yeah.
Thank you guys. Like I said, I've gotten to watch 3 episodes and it really is a fun ride. So I can't wait to see the rest. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sneha.
Thank you.